Malavika Kumar, who is an investment consultant. So, Malavika, why don't you give us a brief synopsis of your career and what your motive was for choosing such a path?
What was my? Could you repeat that?
Motive,
Sorry,
motive.
motive. Okay. Well, I've been in the financial services industry for now, I think uh, over 20 years now, I think. Uh, yeah. So basically, this is an industry that I started off right after graduating in India, and at the time, the banking sector was sort of opening up, and this was the financial services industry was something new relatively. So I joined it, and I really enjoyed working with HDFC Bank, and that was my stepping stone in finance. But after being in India for a while, I wanted to do my MBA. I came here in the US, and I got more exposure to finance as a area of study, and I realized that investments is something that I'm interested in. I also wanted to remain connected to emerging markets because A, I'm from India, and B, I like the vibe of emerging countries, and so I just wanted to, work in the area of finance, but also connected towards emerging markets. And the World Bank Group is a very big organization which works in this area. And IFC, which is the International Finance Corporation, is actually their private sector arm, which invests in emerging markets. So basically, over a period of time, I've been able to get here, and the motive has been the same to continue to learn and invest and also remain connected to the emerging markets.
All right. So, how do you think startups and technology would disrupt your work in the future?
Uh, Startups and technology. I think overall, startups and technology is really disrupting the financial services industry as a whole. If you notice the way people interact in the way they kind of I'm sorry, I'm just finding a spot to sit because we have my daughter's here and I need to find a spot
Yeah.
that she wasn't sitting. So basically, yeah, so it's a very hot area even in my day-to-day work. Basically, for the financial services industry as a whole, we have now the payments being driven really by what do you call fintechs nowadays? And fintechs are basically companies that organize themselves around the uh, mobile operators and use them to in emerging markets to basically send and receive payments, which forms the backbone of any financial sector. So how does it impact my work? As picked earlier as in investments, I focus on the agribusiness sector specifically. So in agribusiness, basically farmers used to the way they used to receive cash or working capital was very different, and now there are more and more fintechs that are getting active, and we are looking at them for investments. So that's on the side of how we are investing. So technology. So we are looking at earlier stage companies like the startups that you mentioned, new models that could be easily scaled, and so that's how that's something new that we weren't doing maybe 5 to 7 years back because it's so new. In terms of my day-to-day life, I think we are all now connected virtually, so that is something new, and we continue to explore this platform, and we're getting more and more efficient. So I think technology is obviously omnipresent, and it's going to continue to remain so.
Yeah. All right. So, what guidance do you have someone who aspires to be a student, who aspires to be a investment consultant in the future?
Guidance would be first and foremost to really understand. I mean, take a few courses in finance, understand how the financial services markets work, both on the demand and the supply side. It's okay, I'm here. And then also get some experience if you can early on. Um, Even it's fine. Just Even any sort of an internship would give you an idea of whether or not this is an area of, I mean, you learn a lot about finance in your books, but the point is whether or you like it is important, because I don't think it's really possible to continue in a sector if you don't like it. So I think the most important thing is to get some sort of experience and connect it to the learning you may have had in your school or college or whatever. So that's one. So just and secondly, I think in terms of investments, what I find, what I'm based on what I'm doing, I find it's very important to understand what your client wants, whoever you're working with, and to make sure that you structure your products or your solutions, however you may call it, to the needs of the client. If that's, I find it to be a lot easier to function in the world of finance as someone who's connected to a customer rather than just to numbers and models, because uh, what I've learned over time is that there are very sophisticated models, and you can always, there's a lot of cool things out there that you can spend your time learning, and you should know all of that. But in the end, what's important is that you should understand what your product or what you're trying to do, how it helps your client, and if you can make that connection, that continues on an ongoing basis with renewed business, which is a win-win for everyone.
All right. So, how do you measure success?
How do I measure success for myself? I like to set a few goals for myself, no matter how small they are, and then I try to achieve them over a period of time. And if I'm able to do that, that is success for me.
All right. So, thank you, Malavika. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you very much.